Ignition sequence start.
Good morning. Here's a peek inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room at the Orbit 2 team of flight controllers as they monitor the station's systems and keep tabs on the Expedition 64 crew members. Commander Sergei Ryzhikov and his 6 crewmates focused this week on science support and station maintenance, but with attention paid to the preparations in Florida for the launch of a new cargo ship carrying station supplies and a new airlock module.
Houston Station on Space to Ground.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Sandra Jones. This week, preps are underway for the upcoming SpaceX cargo resupply mission. SpaceX is set to launch its 21st commercial resupply services mission to the International Space Station from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The flight of this Dragon will mark a couple of firsts. This will be the first flight of an upgraded version of the Cargo Dragon designed to carry more science to and from the space station. Also, this will be the first time that 2 Dragon spacecraft will be docked to the station at the same time. CRS-21 will deliver more than 6,400 pounds of science investigations, supplies, and payloads to the space station. One study being delivered on Dragon is looking into how the heart changes in the microgravity environment of space, which could lead to a better understanding of heart problems on Earth, new treatments, and support the development of screening measures prior to spaceflight. CRS-21 will also deliver a payload which provides quick and accurate counts of total and differentiated white blood cells in microgravity called HemoQ. Doctors on the ground commonly use the total number of white blood cells to diagnose illness on Earth. Verification of an autonomous capability for blood analysis is an important step in meeting the healthcare needs of crew members on board station. Launching in the trunk of the Dragon capsule will be a new and improved door to space. The NanoRacks Bishop airlock is roughly 5 times larger than the airlock on the Japanese experiment module already in use on the station and will allow robotic movement of packages, larger in size and quantity, to the exterior of the space station, including hardware to support spacewalks. The airlock also provides capabilities such as power and Ethernet required for external payloads and will also have the ability to deploy free-flying payloads, house external payloads, and jettison trash. Check out nasa.gov/NTV for the latest schedule on CRS-21's launch. Keep sending in your questions using the hashtag AskNASA. We'll see you next week.
In their first weeks on the International Space Station, the crew members who arrived on the Crew 1 vehicle have been getting accustomed to their new home on orbit, and we've been getting to know them better little by little. Now, let's go behind the official biography and let these astronauts reveal a few inner truths about favorite foods, the hardest part of training, and what is still on their space career bucket list.
Steak.
Anything with lots of zip.
Sushi. Princess Bride. Star Wars. The Replacements.
I like quirky movies. I'll go with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
The Moonwalk.
I like salsa dancing.
Spring. Always spring.
Spring.
I like places where you don't really have seasons, but I guess living in California, like going to college in San Luis Obispo, it felt like spring all the time, so maybe that's what I guess I like spring.
A good wedge of Parmesan cheese.
Yogurt. Greek yogurt.
Let's see. Ranch dressing. That's a kid thing. Tea. Ugh. Tea, of course.
Tea.
Coffee.
Wastefulness.
Pet peeves.
People who don't use turn signal. Come on, is this so difficult? Be patient.
Don't be afraid. Be bold.
Smile more.
Spend the day on Mars.
So I'd probably run around and take lots of pictures.
Sand dune driving. You're on Mars. That's good enough. Don't worry, be happy.
believe I can fly. I don't know, that just comes to mind.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Russian language.
Physically, it's spacewalk training, and mentally, it's Russian language.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Frederick Douglass.
And I don't know, actually. How about that?
Dark chocolate.
Sleeping during meeting.
I get to do so many amazing things in my life. When I have the time and can afford to do nothing, I really like to do nothing.
Oh, parent, by far.
Being a parent.
Parent, hands down.
Hopper.
IKE. It's an acronym, stands for I Know Everything. It's a reminder to never pass up a good opportunity to keep my mouth shut.
Walking on the moon.
To work on the surface of the moon, that's a dream, absolutely.
I want to spend a single day without any calendar events.
An officer in the United States Air Force.
Therapist. I'm good at listening to other person's talk. Believe me.
I'd still be flying, but the other thing I loved doing was working with students. Being in a classroom is one of the most meaningful things I've ever done, even to this day.
Karaoke.
Anything with my family.
If I could fly more, I would fly more.
Commander of time machine.
So the kids say it should be telekinesis, but I think to fly.
Teleportation.
To fly. I think we have a trend here.
I got a sweet tooth.
Probably Mexican food or Indian food. Or maybe Thai food. That's a good question.
I would say Moroccan and Indian.
Favorite decade? Wow. Favorite decade? Right now?
80s? Because the 80s.
1980s, because I was young and stupid, in that order.
For future missions, like when we go back to the moon and then out into the solar system, biomining could offer a way for crews to obtain needed materials on other planetary bodies. But microbes and rocks interact differently outside of Earth's gravity than they do here, and that might affect the output from extraterrestrial biomining. So, there's an investigation on the International Space Station studying how microbes grow on and how they alter planetary rocks, both in microgravity and in simulated Martian gravity.
The International Space Station will soon host some of the smallest miners in the universe, microbes. Microbes growing on the surface of rocks can gradually break them down and extract useful minerals and metals. This is a process called biomining. As we explore space, we are seeking to use biomining to turn rock and regolith into soil for growing plants and food. But before we can use this technique in planetary settlements, we first need to test it in space. On the space station, bioreactors will be placed inside a centrifuge where microbes will grow on rocks in microgravity and simulated Martian gravity. Investigators will examine how 3 types of microbes behave within pieces of basalt and evaluate how well the different microbes extract elements from the rocks. The findings will be compared to ground-based results. We hope to gain insights into how microbes interact with rocks in microgravity and how we might use them in our exploration of deep space.
When you look up at the night sky, you notice that the moon appears to change shape from night to night. Those different shapes that we see at different times of the month are known as the moon's phases. In this demonstration video, NASA astronaut Anne McClain and a friend with an Earth-shaped head explain why the moon's phases occur as they do.
Hi there. My name is Anne McLean, and I'm an astronaut who has lived and worked 250 miles above the Earth's surface on the International Space Station. Today we're going to be turning our eyes toward the moon and learning more about what causes the moon phases. But before we check out the moon phases, let's take a look at where the space station is compared to where we are on Earth and where the moon and the sun are. On Earth, you're only about 250 miles below the station. The moon, however, is located 238,855 miles on average from Earth. You could fit 30 Earths in that distance. When you think about how far away we are from you on the station versus how far away the moon is, the station is only a tiny bit closer to the moon than we are here on Earth. And that's only when the station is in orbit on the same side of Earth as the moon. So, the station is 250 miles away, the moon is 238,855 miles away, and the sun is approximately 92,900,000 miles away. That is quite the distance. Now that you know where you are relative to the station, moon, and the sun, let's talk about the moon phases. Now, when you're looking up at the moon from the Earth, you'll notice that it looks different from day to day. We call these differences the phases of the moon, and they cycle through every 30 days. Let's check out a demonstration of the moon phases here on the ground. We're going to pretend his head is Earth, letting him view the moon as you would from your home. The ball in their hand is going to represent the moon, and the light source is going to be our sun. Keep in mind that while the moon is orbiting Earth, Earth is also rotating on its axis and slowly orbiting the sun. Now, looking from our outsider perspective, we can see the moon is still whole the entire time it is orbiting around Earth, with the side facing the sun always illuminated and reflecting sunlight. Let's take a look at what he is seeing. As you can see in the photographs from Earth's view, the reflection of sunlight looks quite different from this angle, since we are only able to see parts of the reflected sunlight as the moon moves around Earth. This is what causes our moon phases, as the moon orbits around Earth every 30 days. There are names for each of the phases of the moon's 30-day cycle. When the moon looks completely dark, we're experiencing a new moon. This is the beginning of the 30-day cycle. It will move through a waxing crescent phase until it is a first quarter moon. From here, we will see a waxing gibbous until the moon appears fully illuminated. You might have heard this phase before. This is what we call a full moon. After this phase, the moon will go from a waning gibbous phase into a third quarter moon. After the third quarter moon, it will become a waning crescent until it returns to a new moon. On the space station, we see the same moon phases as we do on the Earth's surface. Since the space station is only 250 miles closer to the moon than we are here on the ground, astronauts on the station have the same perspective you have, but don't have the Earth's atmosphere in their way for photographs. Astronauts currently on the space station actually use the moon's phases to collect research that will help NASA with the Artemis program as we work to go forward to the moon with our astronauts by 2024. So, the next time you're outside, take a glance up at the moon to check out what phase it's in. Are you interested in seeing the space station fly by as well? Ask an adult to help you sign up for Spot the Station at spotthestation.nasa.gov. Thanks for learning with me today. See you next time.
Most of the astronauts who've spent time on the International Space Station, or those who have seen the Earth from hundreds of miles up, even for only a short time, say that the experience of looking down on their home planet has changed their perspective on a lot of things. For former astronaut Nicole Stott, art is the medium she's using to try to share the experience with the rest of us Earthlings.
The first time I saw Earth from space was on the space shuttle. My first flight, I flew to the station on the Space Shuttle Discovery, and I do not remember if we were over land or water or night or day. I just remember being impacted by the view. Like not believing, first of all, not believing that I'm floating in this place that I was in. You know, that was kind of amazing enough on its own. And then to be able to put my face in that window and see home below was awesome. It's like a work of art out the window there, and it surprises you every time you look at it. You get these beautiful twinkly city lights, you know, seeing where all the people are and where they aren't. And one of the most impressive things was watching thunderstorms, you know, storm activity moving around the planet. It's like watching neurons firing in a brain. These tentacles of light that are just connecting and traveling. Yeah, it might be starting over Florida, but it's moving across the ocean to Africa as far as you can see. And I mean, I remember floating there just thinking about, oh my gosh, everything is connected. And if you get it dark in the station, all the colors and the light come out in that depth of space as well. And it's kind of that, I don't really know what infinity is, but maybe that's what infinity is. And just like the clarity of looking at the Earth and the colors glowing there, you get that same clarity in this blackest black I've ever seen. And it feels like you could reach in and like the stars have distance between them. When you're in that place, you know, 250 miles is really not that far in the grand scheme of things, but it seems far when you're in space on the space station or on the space shuttle. I think the perspective is one of like a reality check of seeing this thing you thought you knew from being right down in it, on it, in a whole new way, and realizing that, you know, oh my gosh, that is a planet, and I am farther away from it than I ever likely will be. And I feel like more a part of everyone, everything that's down there than I had when I was right in the middle of it. We all feel, I think, an obligation to share the experience in one way or another. For me, that's been art. I've tried to use the paintings that I create on my own, the work that I'm doing with other people artistically to share that message. And if I think about my own artwork, you know, whether people like my art or not, really is not all that important to me, but I want to reach audiences that might not even know we have a space station, might not know that for almost 20 years, we have been living peacefully, successfully in space on this mechanically created life support system with people from 15 different countries doing work that is all about improving life on Earth.
Last week, while most of us were off for Thanksgiving, a bunch of our astronauts came into the office to check out the snail mail inbox here at JSC, and it was full. So join me as we watch some astronauts get a look at the messages some of you have been sending them lately.
Hi everybody. Since I've been back from space, I have accumulated a lot of fan mail.
What a crazy year 2020 has been. But the fan mail still comes in. NASA mission keeps going on.
Fan mail's been really important to me. I always make a point to answer my fan mail.
I've collected some of my favorites in a photo album.
Now, like many of you, I don't come into work physically very often. It has been a year of remote working. I stopped by my office today because I wanted to get some things done, and I hadn't checked my mailbox in 8 months. And so I just walked into a giant stack of mail because clearly all of you guys have still been writing your letters. So I have decided I'm putting off my work for today because hearing from you is way more interesting. So I thought maybe you'd like to join me in reading some of this mail. So let's get started.
Let's see. What we got. How does laundry work in space? Do you have the general washers and dryers like on Earth, or is it completely different? Actually, we don't have any washing machines, no dishwashers, no laundry, none of that. We don't have the capacity to do that on the space station. Perhaps other future spacecraft might have that capability, but right now we don't. So we wear our clothes for a certain amount of time, and then when they're a little bit too dirty to wear anymore, then we take new ones.
So my first piece of mail comes from North Bend, Washington, and it says, "Attention aliens. Do not fear, do not attack. I do come in peace. Doa Mijik." Thank you, Doa.
This is one of my favorites. It's from Elena. It says, "Dear Mr. Morgan, hello, my name is Elena. I'm 8 years old. I go to a school named Math and Science Academy. I'm in 3rd grade. I'm Cuban and Puerto Rican and Cuban, and I would love to be a doctor when I'm older. I also want to be a famous person."
Dear Astronaut Kim, my name is Ben. I'm in the 3rd grade. Space interests me with rocket ships, planets, and science. How big can asteroids get? We actually just had a recent mission called Osiris, where we landed a spacecraft onto a near-Earth asteroid called Bennu. Now, Bennu is not the biggest asteroid in our solar system. Asteroids can be really, really large or more on the smaller side like Bennu.
Moving on to the questions. What made you become an astronaut? Have you ever seen an alien? When you use the bathroom, when you flush the toilet, where does it lead?
Here is a future poet, future novelist, artist, who has written a poem, "Jump off my bed and into space, stars and planets all over the place. There's the moon, there's the sun, space is so much fun. But gravity pulls me back to the station. I wish this wasn't my imagination." It is good that gravity pulls us back to something, especially the space station. Don't want to go floating off into space anywhere. We have a safety tether for that, actually.
Oh my goodness, we got an astronaut application. This is from Elise Basham, and it says, "Why would you like to be an astronaut?" "Because I want to see what Earth looks like on the outside." That's a good goal. "Why will you be a good astronaut?" "Because I like space." Well, Elise, I think you meet the basic requirements. I'm gonna go ahead and pass this on to our chief astronaut.
First question here is from Devin Yarklitz, and he wants to know what my favorite spacesuit is. Each spacesuit is needed for its particular job. Just in case the capsule that we're in has a leak or something, we're protected. And that's a good thing, because that's what spacesuits do. They protect us. When we go up and down, either on the space shuttle or the Soyuz or the new spaceships coming, we have to wear a launch and entry suit. The American launch and entry suit is called ACES. It looks like this, and it's orange. We have a big helmet, and it's pretty big. The Russian on the Soyuz, the Russian spacesuit called Sokol, it is a really neat spacesuit. It's a lot lighter weight, and it fits into the compact area that we get inside the Russian Soyuz spacecraft. If we decide to go outside, we have to wear a spacewalking spacesuit, and we got 2 different types aboard the space station. One is the American Extravehicular Mobility Unit, or the EMU. You can see it right here. It's white. We wear different color stripes depending on who's the EV1 and EV2, so we can tell each other apart, because we all look very similar in the spacesuits. And then the Russians have an Orlan, and I had the chance to go in a Russian spacesuit. It's a lot like the American EMU. So those are 4 different spacesuits plus this flight suit. Great question.
This one's one of my favorites. Gives you an idea of how big our spacesuits are. They really are. And I think this astronaut is on an asteroid, or maybe the moon. Either way, that's pretty cool. Anyone who wrote one of these fan mail letters from elementary school, they could be the one walking on the moon or walking on an asteroid someday.
How long does it take to go back home? How long does the food last? What does it feel like when you're floating? Bye. Hope you enjoyed what you read. Sincerely, Elena.
I mean, did this even have postage? Or did the post office just bring it?
If you have a moment and could share your advice as an astronaut and successful woman of science to a young girl who cannot stop talking about all the experiments she wants to conduct when she lands on Mars, we would be forever grateful. Well, Ileana, I would say keep up that excitement, and the most important thing is to keep asking questions. Keep that curiosity alive to explore, to study, to learn about science, technology, engineering, math. Follow what it is that you're passionate about. Your dreams can come true. I know that for a fact.
Greeting, astronaut apps. I'm a high school physics and astronomy teacher at Ridgeline High School. I would like to start a wall of astronaut photographs adjacent to the display of my space patch collection. And she has a photo of all the patches that she has on the wall. Well, Emma, as a super teacher, you're continuing to inspire the younger generation. I'd like to thank you for your work. Thank you for the hard task that you have. Woohoo! To teachers, woo-woo.
Dear astronaut Dr. Kim, my name is Gracie. I'm in the 3rd grade. I thought it was funny how you got called in the grocery. If I got called there, I would go crazy. We went crazy too. I was in the grocery store with my wife when I got the call from the selection committee that I was selected as an astronaut, and it was a very memorable time.
Hi, my name is Carolyn. I go to Charlotte Preparatory School in Charlotte, North Carolina. Did you know that my middle name is McLean? Stop. Stop. Stop the film. Track this girl down. Bring her to NASA. Your middle name is McLean. It's spelled the same way. You go to Charlotte Preparatory School. Charlotte's my middle name. And you wrote me on my launch day. Holy cow.
Ah, what a beautiful card. It's a unicorn dog. You're more amazing than a dogacorn. That is quite a compliment, Jory. Thank you so much. This is beautiful.
Look at this one. This is so colorful and pretty. This one is even on both sides. Look, and it has all the planets. Does it have Pluto there? Ah, yeah. After my own heart, there's Pluto at the bottom.
Got some real artists out there. This is Lucas, 3rd grade. Did a great job of depicting our entire solar system. I love it because Pluto is still there.
Is Pluto a planet, or did Pluto explode? As far as I know, Pluto has not exploded.
I think that's it.
Thank you so much for the fan mail. It means a lot to us.
Thank you, everyone, for your letters.
I am so thankful that everybody took the time to write me on this Thanksgiving, and it's going to take me forever to go through all of these, and I love it. Thank you.
Thanks for the letters. Thanks for all the questions. Keep them coming. We love it. We love it.
It is so nice to see all of this fan mail and to know that everybody is thinking about us here at NASA, especially during the holidays.
From the entire astronaut corps, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Have a happy holiday and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for the mail, and keep it coming.
Happy Thanksgiving from Johnson Space Center, everybody.
By the way, we just got to 1 million followers on Twitter. Couldn't do it without you. Tweet us your fan mail questions. #AskNASA. #NASA. #Dragon. #Spacewalk. #Artemis. #Starliner. #the universe.
If you want another look at any of the stories we feature today, you can always find them by heading to YouTube and Facebook. There are the particular addresses right there in the box. While you're there, feel free to check out all the other cool stuff that's available about NASA and America's human spaceflight program. And when you're interested in good conversation about human spaceflight and space exploration, the place to go is Houston, We Have a Podcast. It's our weekly show where we talk to folks about their work in all aspects of space exploration. New episodes go up every Friday, and today we continue our Mars Monthly series, talking with two of the folks leading the effort to figure out just how we land a spaceship full of astronauts on the surface of Mars. Go to nasa.gov/podcasts for this week's episode. In fact, it's where you'll also find all the previous episodes. In fact, it's where you'll find the full library of all the NASA podcasts, which all are also available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud.